Yo, 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 how everyone's doing out there? Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. You already know what we're here to talk about, man. This video right here, we definitely have to speak about Kirk Cousins and his recent comments. Hey, man, calling out the Atlanta Falcons. We got to talk about it. And also, just some also talk about recent trade rumors, recent trade requests from Myles Garrett from the Cleveland Browns. So we're going to get into it. But right before we do, hit this quick little intro.
A1. Yeah, truly. Cooler and I'm flyer too. Jam. Cooler and I'm flyer too.
Woo, what's going on, everybody? Again, got my man Smitty Smith with me today, man, talking about Kirk Cousins and his recent comments on Good Morning Football. Calling out the Atlanta Falcons, man. This, like I said, the injury cover up is exposed. But before we dive right into it, as much as we want to, we gotta, let the people know what's up. Smitty, what's good with you, brother?
Hey man, what ain't good right about now, man? There's a lot of bullshit been going on today, man. And look, I'm trying to tell you one thing about football, man. If you know football, you study the game. 9 times out of 10, you know what somebody bullshitting you. And Kirk Cousins did it us to the 2024 season. As we said on the show, man. We'll get into it, man. We'll get into it. I don't even want to get into it, but man, what's up, y'all? Y'all know what it is, man. A1 forever. Thank you for inviting me on the show, man. Truly appreciate it. We're gonna get into this Myles Garrett, Kirk Cousins talk. Shout out to my boy Ryan on the bird cage, man. He already went in. So it's our turn.
Oh yeah, man. Like I said, man, expose it, please. And thank you to
He know
all
we gonna do that. He know we
Kirk
gonna do that.
Raheem for this foolishness. Woo, boy. Now it's some foolishness indeed, because man, I really want to play the clip, but I'm not going to play the clip because I ain't got time to get that in trouble, man. But for that, you know how YouTube don't play. But you guys who have seen the video, you already know the things that were said. If you haven't seen the video, you definitely got to check it out because it's a must see, seriously. But to summarize, pretty much, Kurt was saying he's been dealing with the right shoulder injury and an elbow injury since the New Orleans Saints game back before the bye week. So itself, we talked about that. We talked about how he looked like he was injured. But of course, he was saying that he wasn't injured week after week, getting up there at that podium, saying that he was not injured. Week after week, Raheem, he would get up there. Kurt's okay. Kurt's fine. And it just, spreads. It just raises so many questions now, regardless of this, after these comments. Him saying that he's been injured, but the entire season you were saying that you wasn't injured. So now, okay, I gotta know. I need a press conference, Smitty. I don't know about you, man. There's no way around this. I need a press conference from my coach and my GM. I need to know who knew, who didn't know, what was said, what wasn't said. Like people need to start trying to clear this up because this is some BS, man. We should never be in this situation as a fan base.
And just like Drake said, he about to cost some draft picks too, because you remember he ran his damn mouth in the opening press conference. So yeah, that's another thing. I forgot to add that into my video. I didn't even think about it because I guess it didn't matter no more because the pick's gone now. But a good thing about it from the Matthew Judon trade, if they don't resign Matthew Judon, they at least get a 4th or 5th round pick, which gives them an extra pick into, I think, number 6. But they only have 5 right now: a 1st, a 2nd, a 4th, and 2 7. So hopefully that compensation pick comes through.
I'm thinking Kurt lied to the team. I mean, because I don't want to just go out here and just say, oh, this person, lied, or this person knew about this. Like I was saying, I don't want to say Raheem is this or a part of this without a press conference. I really want a presser from him. So we got to clear this up because it doesn't look good. It looks like the organization as a whole just lied to us. And we already, had a fine last year from, having a faulty injury report. Remember the whole thing with Bijan Robinson. So
the fake headache.
We thinking that that's Arthur Smith, but right now with the way that this has been presented, is almost like we're a bad organization. Different things that
Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you, bro. You got to question the medical staff as well. We can't let
Right.
them get away scot free because they the one that examine Kirk Cousins week to week. And if he tells them that he's feeling fine, you got to do more in-depth testing to make sure. Because I'm sure he showed signs that he was not fine. Because if he was, he wouldn't have ended up on the injury report.
Right.
So in that aspect, it lets you know that it was negligent on the team's part. So one thing about it, man, you can't ignore the signs. If you see a problem, you got to report it. Because as I said in my video earlier, y'all go check that out. Uh, if he was hurt way before they went on that 4-game losing streak, you switch in Michael Penix, 3 of those 4 games we likely win because the only game that we did not win was outright. What's the Denver game? They just blew us out the building.
Right.
Any other game, we were in it to the end. So
Bro, I'm just saying these are things that we slam organizations for. So these are the things that we sit back on the outside and look at other organizations, be like, "Ooh, boy, I don't know what y'all was doing over there. I don't know what y'all was thinking about. I don't know what you seen. You
right,
never should mess with this particular person or and everything." And my thing is, if Raheem did know, right, then that means you really catered to really costing the season, man. Straight up. You catered to costing the season because you catered to a guy that we had no equity in as a fan base. Kirk was just coming. This ain't just like this was Matty Ice or anybody. You know what I'm saying? We don't owe Kirk Cousins anything. So my thing is if you did know about this, then this is just as much as your fault than it is Kirk Cousins' fault. That
right.
is, and my thing is all things is done in the dark coming to the light, right? So
Yeah.
this is
Because he was
coming
in
to
the press
the
conference lying to us in our face.
light, bro.
And the
That's the
crazy
whole
part about it, we all knew that it was a problem because, like I said, we said it on the show a couple of times that he was hurt. Um,
right,
if you can just look at his throwing motion, we already knew about the Achilles injury. He wasn't stepping in
right,
the throw, so that was one problem right there. Then when you saw that he wasn't going, going through a full motion or going through the throws, putting his whole body and his arm through the throw, short arm and stuff, just like the Darnell Mooney, like you talked about on the show, how he short hopped that ball. And Darnell Mooney was wide open, running down the middle. He
wide
should hit
open,
that thing wide open. So if you see just simple things like that, the signs were there. All
right.
we had to do was
Go
pick
back
them
to
off,
that
which we
Chargers
did.
game. That Chargers
Right.
game was like the biggest eyesore because it's just like, come on, man, this man throwing all these picks. His arm just wasn't right. I got to go back to it really and think about. Remember the interception that he threw, and it looked like he just lofted up there. See, just examples like that, and so I got to give credit to the content creators that stayed pat on saying that he was injured, because the rest of us, that we didn't believe that. I know I was one. I was saying that I believe that he just fell off a cliff because, of course, every week after week you're getting up there saying that you're not injured, and then your coaching staff is getting up there and saying the same thing. So I mean, what are we going to do if we can't trust our
And
coaching staff, if we can't
right,
trust our organization? Then I mean, what are
right,
we doing?
right. And like Mad Mike said, man, shout out to Mad Mike. Mad Mike said one thing about Raheem Morris, why he didn't want him to become the coach again, was because he don't feel like he had the mental toughness to lead a team. And this type of situation, it proves that. Because if you can't keep up with your injury report, what's going on with your players, and you don't get a full in-depth look as to what's going on, that says to me that you can't control what's going on in your locker room. And like I said, the strength and conditioning staff, they should be held accountable too. And it's just the team as a whole. Because when it boils down to it, the quarterback, he's the start of it. But it's like a domino effect. It goes from the quarterback to the strength and conditioning all the way up to the head coach. And then guess what? At the end of that line is Arthur Blank. So they lied to Arthur Blank as well. So
Right,
this is why, honestly, this is why I said I could see Raheem Morris losing his job after one season. But Arthur Blank being the guy that he is, and we said it and you said it, he's not going to make that move because he's just not that type guy. But with what we saw in the disaster we saw in this first season, going 6-3, you had reached your ceiling. You were in control of the NFC South, and then you just fell off a complete cliff. 9 times out
bro,
of 10, if coach do that, they lose their job. Look at
bro.
Trent Barker,
It's
who just
even
got fired.
worse, bro.
Look
It's
at
even
Trent
worse.
Barker.
Huh? You said
Look
who?
at Trent Barker, who just got fired from Jacksonville. 7 of the coaches he hired were done after one season. What did they have in common?
Right. Right.
They could not win more than 5 games.
Right. Right.
Just think about that. So even though we had a 1 game improvement over last year, it still didn't mean much because we should have had a 4 to 5 game improvement because after 6-3 start with a back end of a schedule that you should have dominated. I mean, Denver probably was the only team that, like I said, beat you. But then about side of that, you should have coached it to the end and coached it right into a playoff spot. But it was a complete opposite.
Yeah, man. Shoot, man. It like you said, we was in every game pretty much this season. The only game that really does stand out to you is that Denver game. We just got smacked in the mouth. But
Right.
but guys, and shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Shout out to you. I'm gonna get to your comments in a second, guys. Bro, it goes further than just losing to 6-3. 6-3 is just added fuel to the fire. We were 6-3 at one point in time, and then we just completely just crapped away the division. That's just a part of the story inside of the whole novel. You got to go all the way back. First of all, okay, we got hit for tampering, got punished for alleged tampering. You know what I'm saying? Kirk coming in saying the things he said. We ain't got to get into that. We got hit for it, lost a draft pick. Then you also have the reports out saying that, oh, he didn't know that you was drafting a quarterback. So that created just a little bit of controversy.
but honestly, what do that matter? What do
I'm
that
saying,
matter?
I'm saying,
You
I'm
still got a
getting to it.
job to do.
I'm
Go ahead,
gonna
go
get
ahead.
to it. I'm
Go ahead,
gonna
go ahead, go
get
ahead.
to it. So
Go ahead.
like you also maintaining that you had all off season that he was healthy. You maintained that, through the early and late struggles that he's healthy. Coaching staff, they finally bench him. Then next thing you know, Kirk comes out and says he didn't forget how to play football. Going out there being a backup. Goes to Washington where he got his start. And it was so crazy how it comes full circle on how Kirk Cousins was a backup that night in Washington, same way how he started his career. You seen how his face was looking on the sideline, like he really couldn't believe that he was really back there in the same situation again. Like, I'm on the sideline where I started. And also, Kurt's coming out now and saying that, oh, he wasn't healthy from the Saints game. He's been dealing with something. Remember, bro, he was on that injury report before the bye week. And then all of a sudden, he was off of their injury report after the bye week. So that's more evidence of something was going on there. I said, like, I can't necessarily just put it all on Raheem just yet. That's why I need a press conference. Because he was on the injury report.
Let's go back to that game. And you talk about him being on the injury report.
Mm-hmm.
You lose to a team that lost 7 straight games.
And well, no, he was on the injury report going into the Broncos game.
No, I'm saying they lost the game. Right. They lost the game. The way they lost that game, it lets you know he played like crap that game. That was a sign that he wasn't healthy because he threw for what? He threw for almost 300 yards, but that was garbage time yards. And even though they still had a chance to win that game, no way in the world the Saints should have been as close as they were. And even though we did not play good defense most of that game, we adjusted, came back the second half, and he still had a chance to win the football game, but he could still not make the throws. If you look back at that game, the second half, he had more check down throws than anything. He was checking down to Bijan Robinson. He was checking out Darnell Mooney, quick plays to Kyle Pitts. So if you look at the playbook, and this lets me know that somehow this coaching staff knew in some sense that he was not 100%. So if you knew that game, you should have benched him at halftime, brought in Michael Penix, and you just wrote it out with him. Because if you do that, that probably saves our season. See, sometimes even though you pay him all this money, sometimes, like I said, you got to bite the bullet, man. You got to bite the bullet.
Yeah. Look at Matt Flynn. Matt Flynn got benched for Russell Wilson. That's famous. Everyone knows that. Things like that.
And at the time, he was one of the highest paid free agent quarterbacks at the time. He had a record at the time. Right.
At the time. And everything. But this is also another good point too, though, man, because my thing is, if the organization didn't know, then then this right here from Craig Johnson, Kirk lying, and the NFL should terminate his contract. Now there is a possibility that Kirk could be lying, y'all, because he could be trying to force his way out of the organization. it's in his favor to be cut by the
One
Atlanta
line.
Falcons.
One line. When he said, I'm unsure of my future, but I got a lot left in the tank. That was a line that said, I want to be traded out of Atlanta. I don't want to be here no more. But at the same time, the Falcons still on the hook for $27 million, even if he gets traded. So either way it go, the Falcons lose. He wins. So it's just, he was just saying in so many words, they need to find a way to trade me because, look, we're going to get into Myles Garrett in a minute. But Cleveland is the best spot for Kirk Cousins. Why? Jameis Winston is a free agent. He's not coming back. Deshaun Watson was going to miss the whole 2025 season. So why not bring in Kirk Cousins, who's worked with Kevin Stefanski? He's worked with him. So
I'm
it's
gonna
so much
leave my scenarios for that segment, but it's just
and I'm gonna tell y'all what it's gonna cost.
And my thing is too, going back to that Saints game, it was multiple things going on that game. It was Kurt, it was cool, and that's another thing too. That's a whole different topic about how long so you waited before you put Young Way Cool on the IR.
Again, with the medical stuff.
It's just
decisions
after decisions after decisions. Yeah. It makes us look real shady. It makes it look real shady as an organization, and that's not what you want. It's just one roller coaster after another for Falcon fans, and it's just like I said, these are things that we slam other organizations for. Just the whole timeline on how I gave you. That's what we do. So we look off from a distance and be like, that ain't right. So, but we have things that aren't right here in our own organization, bro. So it's just like this right here is an absolute tragedy what's going on. I'm trying to get to you guys' comments. Shout out to everybody in the comments as well, man. Do y'all feel like Kurt trying to run a stunt on and get his situation in his favor? Yes, I do. At a point, it's one side of me feels like it was a collaborative effort. The other side of me feel like Kurt just lying to try to get his way out of the.
Yeah, he don't got his money now. He ready to get the hell on. That's all.
But my thing is, bro, like if he was lying about it all, then that means we do need to try to avoid something. NFL needs to look into it or something then, because it's still like another $10 million on the hook.
The reason why they won't avoid it is because I feel like the Falcon coaching staff knew to an extent, and I feel like that medical staff told them, but they just rolled the dice because, like Ryan said, Raheem Morris his pride took over. He didn't want to admit he was wrong, so he didn't want to make the change. We all knew he should have made that change 3 to 4 weeks before he did. And just like Young Way Cool, he kicked 2-3 games farther than what he did because what game was it? One that the Los Angeles game when he missed 3 field goals. Mm-hmm. So think about that. And then come to find out he had a hip injury. So
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, bro. It's this is right here. Like I said, it's just more of a circus, and you talking about trying to get people down here to play with you, play for your organization, and you have this circus going on right now with Kirk Cousins trying to force his way out, or either way it goes, the organization just like it's causing a rift. It's a chance to cause a rift between the organization. Again, you're holding on to a guy, playing him week after week like you owe him something. That's the thing that just trips me out. Again, that wasn't Matt Ryan. If this was Matt Ryan that we talk about, first of all, so that'd be a totally different conversation. But we already know Matt Ryan isn't even that type of guy to even put us through this. But let's just that's the only guy that I can even just fathom even thinking about, going through this situation for. Why are we being so loyal to Kirk Cousins? Because we paid him money. And I know the money has a lot to do with it. But at the end of the day, our season was on the line. And you playing with a season. Right. So I'm just saying, like, if you're knowing that the man is hurt, that right there, that falls on you. That falls on the head coach. If you didn't know,
and it's the crazy thing.
It's all a lie, then that means Kirk Cousins is trying to force his way out of Atlanta.
It just came full circle, though, Chris. Think about it. He started off with the beginning press conference, disclosing that he talked to the training staff that he knew he wasn't supposed to do. Now the same shit at the end of the season, talking about an injury to get his way out of Atlanta. So was his plan all along just to get his money and get the hell on? Because like you said, he had already felt betrayed by them drafting the quarterback. But now that seemed like one of the smartest moves ever in the draft. So at the end of the day, it just came full circle.
Yeah, man. It's terrible. Like, man, yeah, man, they going in the comments, man. Like it's like I
Yeah,
just said
we
too,
might
man.
get penalized again. I definitely agree with that. We might get penalized again. It won't be for 2025, but 2026 we could lose a third or fourth round pick.
All just because Kirk Cousins just talks too much. That's what it all came down to. He really just talks too much. He says things, bro. He just says things, and I'm just so upset because honestly, bro, we should have never been in this freaking situation from the
Nope,
beginning. You know,
at all.
signing this Joker from the beginning. Okay, you signed him. All right, whatever. Then next thing you know, you staying loyal to him like you owe him something just because you paid
Right.
him this money. And then for Raheem, you kept him out there, and now you're under the bus and you're under investigation by the fan base because people want to know: did you know? Did he lie to you? Is he lying? Period. Like it's just we need a press conference, and there's no way around this. The
But we
fans
won't get it.
deserve to know what's going on.
We
No,
won't.
man.
We won't get it.
Mm-mm. My thing
Trust
is,
me, we
bro.
won't.
My thing is, bro. Even if we don't get it now, you got to talk to somebody eventually, and that's gonna be the first question. I don't care if it, man. It can be. They can come out there and say, "Hey, all right, man. We're talking about the draft." First question. So, did you know about Kirk Cousins, bro? I'm telling you, it's gonna have to be discussed. You're gonna have to answer these questions. You can't keep running. We deserve we deserve answers. I
Hey,
ain't
bro,
no who are
that's
you, ain't no who are you, ain't no nothing that's like that. You just a fan, all that stuff like that. The fan base deserve. I'm not saying I deserve it. I'm not saying you deserve it, Smitty. I'm saying the fan base deserves something from the organization.
but you know who this falls on more than anything? This falls on Terry Fontenot more than anybody. Because 9 times out of 10, he vouched to go get Kirk Cousins. He's the GM. He wanted to move. He bought Arthur Blank's trust. So this hurts him more than anybody. So anything less than a playoff appearance next year, both of them gone. I said it this year, but next year for sure, no playoffs, no job. Just that simple.
Hey man, I can definitely see that because hey, this right here, this is just an ongoing drama. Bro, you just got here and you got so much going on in your first season. It's just hard, bro. Like I don't know about I can't speak for everyone, but I'm not rooting against Raheem Morris. Like I want the man to succeed, but it's just so much going on in this first season. So much, man, with the
Way
quarterback
too
that you're
much.
bringing in, with the decisions that you're making. Now you got these allegations right here, whether Kurt is lying or whether Kurt is telling the truth. The Atlanta Falcons shouldn't be in this situation. We shouldn't be under this situation. We shouldn't be under the freaking magnifying glass right now. Come on, man. Like
Yeah.
this is some BS, bro. Straight up and down. I'm just tired, bro. I'm just tired. There's always something. That's just all. I'm just always just tired of just always being into something negative. You know what I'm saying? We should be talking about, what I'm saying, like Miles Garrett, and we are going to talk about Miles Garrett. We should be talking about like free agents. We should be talking about getting ready for the draft. We should be talking about, what I'm saying, how can we build off of Michael Penix in his last 3 games. That's things that we should be talking about. Not, what I'm saying, how much money we gonna pay Kirk Cousins, how much we owe him. Do we have to cut him now? Do we have to trade him now? All this different mess that we should, which was honestly still a topic of discussion, but not in the forefront. It wasn't. Now it's just like blaring and glaring. It's like a glaring thing, like an eyesore. That's pretty much what it is. It's an
And
eyesore.
and signing him to that contract, it hurt us deeply because
Right.
with that money, you could go out and sign an elite pass rusher, you can go out and sign an elite cornerback, or you can just go get good quality pieces to build his team around. You could have got,
Right.
like you told me before, you could have went and got your 2 elite players plus a
Oh, yeah.
rotational player. That 180 million could have went a long way, more than what it did go. Because honestly, we just threw 180 million in the trash. Just that simple.
Like, come on, bro. And that's what I'm saying. Oh man, that's and my thing is no one. I feel like no one could have predicted this, but at the same time, I just didn't want to go through none of this, man. Like with Kurt Cole, we could have just. Do feel like Michael Penix still would have been there for us. I really do. I mean, I could be wrong about that, and if I am, then that's just a hill that we're never going to be able to climb because we never got there. But I really do believe, you know what I'm saying, we should have never been in this situation. And I mean, hindsight 2020, you can't go back to it, but it just you just wish what would have happened. You wonder what would have happened if you never put yourself in this situation. You would have definitely more cap space and more money to go after other players and build around this young phenom and Michael Penix. But instead, we trying to figure out what we're going to do as an organization now. What are we going to do with Kirk Cousins? He obviously, I mean, you can just read the tea leaves and just listen. He doesn't want to be a backup, okay? He doesn't want to be backing up Michael Penix. He doesn't want to be a guy who Michael Penix is still learning from, and he just be
And
waiting in the wings just in case if something
and
happens.
deep down inside, Raheem Morris knew he made a mistake. Why? Because he said in preseason, I only need to see one game to know what I got in Michael Penix. When he said that, that let me know he knew he made a mistake. He knew the team made a mistake. And they just got to live with it at the end of the day.
Right. And this is true right here too. I mean, they probably all knew and they probably all corrupt. All right, Kurt, we're gonna give you an opportunity to do what you do. We're gonna give you an opportunity to come back, and show what you got. So we paid you this money, we're gonna give you an opportunity. And again, it goes back to my point to where I'm looking at you sideways, like, what do we owe Kirk Cousins? Nothing. He was just coming to Atlanta. Let's just be honest. Let's keep it real out here. Most of us, for most of Kirk Cousins' career, we made fun of Kirk Cousins. I'll admit it right here. Yes, before he even became an Atlanta Falcon, I got plenty of times where I roasted Kirk Cousins. One time in particular, I ain't gonna lie, I let him have it about the time when he threw the pick, it's in the Robert Alford in overtime when he was with the Washington Redskins at the time, now Commanders. I'm just saying, like, come on now. And I know that's just, and I do know that's irrelevant. I'm just having a conversation with y'all. I'm just
and I'm gonna be honest, man. I was wrong. I'll admit it. I can eat crow. Last year, I just had a feeling he was gonna come to Atlanta, and I put out a video and said Kirk Cousins was signed as a free agent in Atlanta. I got roasted, but I stood my ground and I said, "Hey, we needed a veteran quarterback because Taylor Heineke and Desmond Ridder wasn't cutting it." I was wrong, but when we drafted Michael Penix, all those wrongs were righted, and hey, the future looked positive just because of that. We go into this draft. I think we go defense heavy. The only position that I think we need on offense is probably a wide receiver.
He said Raheem should have never been hired. Wilkes or Lovie Smith should have been hired. And you see the blunder as head coach from Morris.
But again, this goes back to Arthur Blank being comfortable with people. Because if it wasn't that, he wouldn't even been able to hire Jeff Ulbrich back. See, this is the thing. Retreading tires is always a mistake. Why? Remember Art Shell back with the Raiders. He coached the Raiders twice. Did not work. The Falcons hired Marion Campbell twice. Same result. So when you rehire coaches, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get the same result. So now, look, Raheem Morris was the interim coach. He won, 4 or 5 games that year?
That's what my whole point. That's what I'm saying. Like, you could have kept him then. You did not. You let him go off, win a Super Bowl, to his credit, but he wasn't a head coach, Right. So my thing is, you bring him in as a head coach now, it goes, see, and that's a whole nother conversation that we can dive into because it's not a guarantee that, because that's going to bring up the Bill Belichick thing. I really don't want to dive into that rabbit hole, bro, but
I'm not going into that.
I'm saying, like,
we'll be on that motherfucker all night.
Right. That's a whole nother topic, what I'm saying about that. But it just goes back about the head coaching hire, though. That's basically what I'm saying. The head coaching hire was pretty much a safe hire. The offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, more safe hires, more guys that's not going to challenge for a job, more guys that's not going to, stand up and say, look, I don't like this or I don't want that. A guy that, guys that, don't have necessarily complete power. That's another thing that's been in question, too, about Terry. Does he have complete power? Does Raheem have complete power? So
that's hard to say, bro. Even though we
right.
were told Rich McKay is over at Atlanta United running things, somehow I feel like he's still in this somehow. I don't know how, and I don't know how deep. Pause. But trust me, he is somewhere in the building, somewhere doing something, and this is why this team is still going backwards. Because if
Right.
Terry Fontenot had complete control, he would have never hired Arthur Smith. If he had complete control, he probably wouldn't have hired Raheem Morris. That was all Arthur Blank. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. He's writing checks, so he's making the final decision. It's who Arthur Blank is comfortable with. So at the end of the day, look, he's bringing this on himself not winning Super Bowls. He preaching, I'm trying to put us in position to win Super Bowls, but at the same time, you got to put the right coach in place to lay the foundation for a Super Bowl caliber team. And what I mean by that, when you go to a Bill Belichick who knows how to build a team front to back, doesn't need first round picks, he can use undrafted free agents to build a team and compete and be competitive. So look, I'm just telling you, it's just Arthur Blank's fault at the end of the day. What's up? Let's get it.
Let's get it. It says, man, what's good? It said, my brothers, it's always good to see y'all. I've been saying this from day one, but no one wants to listen. We are a piss poor run organization. You guaranteed this man top dollar to produce what? Shoo. Ryan
Yep.
from the Bird Cage
And what
says
and
McKay is deep as Keith Sweat singing. How deep is your love in 1988? Now,
hey,
God
look, I'm
dang, man.
telling you,
But that's
one
one
thing
thing, though.
this
You never know what's
one
going on behind the scenes, right, Smith? You really
one
don't.
thing this team lacks is structure. When this team gets a structure to build a proper foundation, things will change. But since you still freestyling and free running things, it gonna continue to be the same thing over and over. Why? Because you don't have a championship mindset, like the Pittsburgh Steelers, like the Baltimore Ravens. Those teams they just plug and play each and every year. If they lose somebody, they can go out and get another draft pick, come in, take the same position. Why? Because they know exactly what they're looking for. And as I told y'all, I talked to a former Steeler, Levon Kirkland, good friend of mine, and
Mhm.
he said the Pittsburgh Steelers they have a a structure in place as to just say like LeVar Kirkland leaves, you
Mhm.
go and Greg Lloyd leaves. Guess what? You go out and get two more people like that. What was the other guy named Chad Brown? He was on that team as well. But what do? They go out and retool, just like T.J. Watt.
Yeah.
What was that linebacker? Lamar Whitley. Lamar Whitley had just retired. What do? Go out and get a T.J. Watt to replace him, just like Cam Hayward. Um, Stephon Tuitt, who just retired a couple of years ago.
Right.
One guy that I want in this draft, Deion Walker. I already said it. If he doesn't end up in Baltimore or Pittsburgh, I would be disappointed because he fits their profile as to what they like on their defensive line. So look, one thing about it, if you got a blueprint in place and you follow that blueprint, guess what? You're just gonna keep producing talent. You're gonna keep winning, and that's why the Pittsburgh Steelers have been competitive year after year and have only 3 coaches in the last 40+ years. Just think about that.
This tough right here because this is some real reality. Rodriguez says, to be honest, I don't think nobody takes Atlanta serious. That's in all sports. They come here to collect a check and doesn't have to worry about winning. That's just my opinion. And to be honest, man, you're entitled to your opinion. Each and every one of you guys are entitled to your opinion. And thank you for, what I'm saying, for dropping them in the comments, man. Like for
And
sure.
let's get it. That's exactly what I'm saying. Arthur Blankets or Jerry Jones. After every game, you see him on the sideline. What is that gonna prove? Nothing.
Man, you actually getting cheap shots, what I'm saying, and catching strays later on. 'Cause remember, Brady even threw a stray out there talking about, oh, I don't know if Dan Quinn likes when the owner comes out on the field too soon. It's just like, really? You already straight shot at the Falcons, straight shot at Arthur Blank, so it just, we still continuously going through things that the Super Bowl was how long ago now? And we still catch strays.
8 years.
Right. And then also we also catch strays from a company called Sleeper. For those, what I'm saying, who use Street Sleeper, what I'm saying, for fantasy drafts, also parlays and everything as well. They have a thing to where they say on the commercial, there's no way of coming back from 28-3. it just, it's just things that we go through as an organization, and this is just another set of toppings on top of
Craig,
BS that we've been going through as an organization.
facts. Craig Johnson, I can answer that question easily because, like I just said, they have championship caliber players in place. And when you have those type players in place and you go out and find similar players that fit that same skill set, that's how you plug and play, and that's how you build a competitive team. The
But
Falcons don't have that foundation of a team right now to go out and just plug and play.
it
We
start with
still
it start up top though, bro.
it start up
Start
top
up
with a
top.
mindset, point blank period. But one person that I feel like could change that around, let's get into the Miles Garrett, man. It's
Miles
time.
Garrett, yeah, man. Let's get into my shout out to Uncle Steve, man. What's going on? What's going on,
Hey, why
fella?
he got to be my guy? And no, I
Yeah,
don't want to
fella.
bring back Ritter.
Any thought
No,
on
I
that
don't.
Smitty's guy? Kirk Cousins may have been sabotaged by Falcons today to return the draft night sabotage of drafting Michael Penix Jr. I'm just saying, bring back Ritter. Uncle
Nah,
Steve, man, thank you for tuning in, man.
Ritter can
Do
stay
it
where he
best.
at.
Yeah, man. Hey, but the thing about it is, you never know. At the end of the day, there's no loyalty either way. It should, at least it shouldn't have been. Now, at the end of the day, again, that goes back to what I was saying before. That is a part of the timeline. That is a part of the novel that went on with this Kirk Cousins timeline. And
Right.
it's like you bring him in, then all of a sudden he's saying, "Oh, I didn't know his agent," and everyone's saying, "Oh, he didn't know that they were drafting the quarterback." They didn't say all that, and now we're coming back around now, and he's saying, "Oh yeah, 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 man, my shoulder was beat up and everything like that. My elbow as well too. I got to make sure I get right. I'm no good to the Falcons. I'm no good to any team." Is what the man said. I'm no good to the Falcons or
Ain't
any
no good anyway, so it don't even really matter.
team.
I'm gonna just keep it funky with you.
Oh, man. This said, oh man. Tyreek said we need a 30 for 30 on the Falcons after blank. Sheesh. Terrible, man. Let's try to transition, man. It's hard to transition from this crazy mess with Kirk Cousins because we're going to be talking about it, and it's going to get talked about all off season now. This right here overshadows any kind of trade that we're trying to make, and this includes, making a trade for this gentleman, Miles Garrett, who has requested formally and respectfully requested a trade from the Cleveland Browns in order to chase a ring, in order to play with a contender, because the Browns, as you know, so he wants to ascend, and the Browns, of course, continue to descend and spiral and do all that stuff they like to do. But
Right.
so, you know what I'm saying? These damaged goods. Damaged goods, man. But yeah,
Yeah, but I still feel like a team like Cleveland take a chance on him, man. I just for
hey,
some reason,
Stefanski.
yeah.
Stefanski is out there, and this could bode well for the Atlanta Falcons. Hopefully, it blows up. If it is a ruse, hopefully it blows up in Kirk's face, because hopefully, like this is like because Stephen A. said it himself, and it could be a possibility. We don't know. We're not behind the scenes. That the Falcons could be trying to drive up the price or drive up the interest for Kirk Cousins, and maybe a team takes a
Well, he
chance.
trying to do that for
Like
himself.
the
That's why he
Browns.
made the comments that he made today.
There you go. That's what I was just about to say. But what kind of counters that is the fact all the things he was saying. You just got to go back and listen. Just go back and listen to it. Say like I even plan on going back and listening to it again, just because I just want to make sure there was absolutely nothing, any kind of thing that I missed in his tone. It sounds like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. Falcons, you cut me, so I can just go where I want to go, more so than you trying to trade me. That's the best case scenario for Kirk, is to be cut, not to be traded. So that's another thing too. And a lot of Falcons, some people that cover the Falcons, that are close to the Falcons, feel like that this is definitely a move to try to get cut. And honestly, it's going to kind of like pressure and push the Falcons to do such. And way before, anything else that the Falcons want to do. I'm pretty sure the Falcons weren't necessarily thinking about this previously until this morning. Now you have the different decisions you have to make. Now you have people questioning your organization, questioning the integrity of your organization. Are you just liars? You know what I'm saying? I mean, every organization lies, but it's all about how much you're getting caught on. And I don't want to be a part of no mess.
But he done been front street on both times though. He's been in press conference both times when he said it. So He let it be
Right.
known that he was bullshitting from the jump.
Right. That's what I'm saying, bro. But okay, Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett. Or should the Falcons trade for Myles Garrett? Should the Falcons try to rework some things to trade for Myles Garrett? We already know premier pass rusher has been for so many years. 102 and a half sacks. Just that alone should make you want to jump at him. Just as we did with Calais Campbell. And Calais Campbell was able to get his 100 sack with the Atlanta Falcons. Now, I definitely believe, and we all know, that Myles Garrett has way more left in the tank than, let's say, a Calais Campbell, and way younger.
Or
Now,
Matthew Judon.
yes. You know what I'm saying? And I believe, of course, he'll have more production than a Matthew Judon as well. But I mean, Myles Garrett is a certified game changer. We know that. We've seen that more times than not. So, should the Atlanta Falcons guys trade for Myles Garrett? Should we kick the tires? Should we at least try? What you think, Smith?
Well, you know what I say. I've been saying this for shit over a year. I just feel like he's one of those guys. He's still 31 years old. Well, he's 30, almost 31, or he's 29, almost 30. It's one or the other. But he has a birthday soon. But as I told y'all, man, defensive end, they play all the way up to 38 to 40 years old because guess what? They the one doing the hitting. And he just came off another double-digit sack season. He's only had one season that he hasn't had 10 plus sacks, and that was his rookie season when he had 7.5, and he was defensive rookie of the year that year. So right. He hasn't done that but produce 102 sacks in his career, and he still has 5 to 6 good years left. So when we're talking, he's gonna be in top 10 easily when he's done. So you bring him in. Look, I know y'all like to talk about draft picks, but when have we hit on a draft pick at defensive end or edge rusher? We haven't. Not since Chuck Smith way back in 1992.
No one has been a home run. I would say that. No one has definitely been a home run.
Chuck Smith way back in 1992, and he was a second round pick. But I'm talking about first round. You blow on TJ Watt, pause. You miss out on Khalil Mack. So when you look at all the choices that they missed out on in the past, why not go out and get an established pass rusher for those first round picks? Because honestly, the draft is a crapshoot. It's 50-50. It's 50 that they may be okay, and the 50 that they may be bust. So why not go get an established guy?
You do have those occasions. You do have those occasional when you just like, oh no, that guy, he's going to be a baller, and he ends up turning out to be a baller. But that's still, like you said, still shooting craps in the bucket. You know
and basically, you've already drafted Grady Jarrett's replacement. Then you have a guy like Deion Walker sitting there in the second round who can come in, eat up space. Myles Garrett comes in along with Braylon Trice, Arnold Ebiketie, and whoever else is, at the edge rusher position. He's gonna. One thing about Myles Garrett, he's gonna rub off on those guys, and he's gonna teach those guys how to play physical. He's gonna get them a different mindset, even better than the coaches probably will. So as you look at bringing in a Myles Garrett, not only he's bringing in, production. He's bringing in leadership. He's bringing in a different type toughness, and he's bringing in a different type mindset. So with that being said, all you do is go out and get a space eater in the middle, and the rest of those edge rushers, they're gonna, after he collapses the pocket, he gets out to the quarterback. They're gonna force the quarterback onto the other side, which is gonna help those other guys get sacks. So it's more to it than just production. It's what he does on the field as well.
No, that's true. That's true, man. And honestly, too, though, bro, this is a question that, and then shout out to Big Low Country as well, man. This is a question that he asked his people last night, and I got to ask tonight. Before we get into what it would cost to get a Myles Garrett, do you feel Myles Garrett even wants to come to Atlanta? That's a great question. That's a great question, right? Because we're talking about, what we can cost to go get him, and let's give up this and let's give up that.
Let me say this. Anybody can be sold if the coach can sell them. If the coach can sell them dreams, as we seen Raheem Morris, he can sell the hell out of some used cars because the shit he been telling us all season. He's been selling us dreams, so why not go sell one more dream to a guy that can possibly save your job and save your future? If he got one more salesman's pitch inside of him to go get a Myles Garrett and just tell him, We need you to come in and help change this culture. We have probably two good edge rushers that you can come in and help. And we know Grady Jarrett might be gone. If they go get a Myles Garrett, Grady Jarrett show gone. Like I said, they've already drafted his replacement. But
Yeah.
if anybody can sell the dream, it's probably Raheem Morris. So do we have a chance? It's highly likely that he probably chooses someone else. But if you give him the right sales pitch and bring in the right type talent, it could happen. Because guess what? As I was reading, if the Falcons restructure contracts and make cuts, they can save anywhere from $50 to $60 million. So you can bring in a Myles Garrett and another edge rusher if you needed to, like a Josh Sweat, or bring in another rookie in the second round, such as a Chris Paul Jr., somebody off-ball linebacker to come in and help with the pass rush. It's always a way. You just got to know how to, like I said, you got to have a foundation to know exactly what to do. And then
The thing about it is though, Smitty, like, in 1 second too, man. We're gonna have a special guest in a few minutes.
okay,
But yeah, man. The one thing about this though, Smitty, too, this trade doesn't happen without a restructure. And I'm not talking about Grady. I'm not talking about AJ Terrell, Jesse Bates, none of those guys who probably are going to have to still restructure anyway. AJ is probably like
talking about Kirk.
talking about Kirk Cousins. You got to restructure that Joker's contract because it's 40 million. You need to try to convert that. You need to try to convert at least 30 million of that into a signing bonus so the cap hit is lower.
Right.
Is that even possible now after what happened today? Like, because apparently,
honestly,
again, he seems like he's trying to get forced off.
And honestly, I think it comes out better at them trading him. Why? Because even if they get a 6 or 7 round pick, it's somebody that they can bring in to help with what they're trying to build. So they win in that aspect. In the other aspect, you get that contract off the books.
Yeah, for sure.
And Cleveland will only be stuck for 1 year because that third year is only $10 million, and they can roll that off into the sunset. I mean, and really, honestly, it may not even be that much if they restructure the contract and give them most of the money next year. Let's say like 30, 35 million next year. And guess what? It's only what 5 to 7 million a year after the third year, and they can write that off.
Right. And this is another thing we have to consider as well, fam. Like, we have to also consider what Cleveland wants to do. Like, we're making all these decisions for other organizations. We don't even know what Cleveland necessarily wants to do. They still have that Deshaun Watson contract that they're stuck at the hip with it. So you got to think about this too. Do they want to take on yet another large contract, even if it is to trade away their best pass rusher?
I would take 27. Let me see. I would think that the Falcons would be on the hook for 27 and a half out of 40 million. So Cleveland would be on the hook for the other 12 and a half plus next year. That's roughly about $50 million. So I would take that over the $43 million that they got to pay get Deshaun Watson no matter what. He don't even have to pay another down in the NFL. He can retire and he'll still get that $43 million somehow.
Right. I mean, I get that, but again, that's what you would do though, Smitty. Like, do they want to do that though? Like, we need them to show some kind of interest in Kirk Cousins. Like, honestly, like, we want them to take on Kirk Cousins, but we need them to show us, hey, we would like a quarterback. Especially if they don't feel like, what Cam Ward or Shadur Sanders is, what a place that they want to go.
But I don't even if those quarterbacks are there, I don't think they take a chance on one of those guys anyway. Right. And now with Myles Garrett talking about he want to trade, Abdul Carter is definitely going to be the pick if he don't go to Tennessee at 1. Because you got to replace that pass rusher.
I can definitely see that. Again, like, we just got to hope that they will be in the – my thing is, even if they do take a quarterback, they don't have a veteran necessarily, right? So, I mean, Kirk Cousins could possibly be a veteran. At this point, man, we got to try to offload this contract in a trade because it benefits us the best if we trade him. I mean, because He doesn't want to be a backup. All right, he does not want to be a backup. He still wants to start in this league, and he wants to be off of this Falcons team one way or another. Whether he's lying, telling the truth, this right here is just stirring up a whole pot of mess, a whole pot of a BS stew right here. And but we're gonna pause for the calls right quick because we got another guest coming in here, man. Our boy
It just
Ryan.
let me fire start. That's all.
Yeah, man. Our boy Ryan for the Birdcage, man, the historian. Man, what's good, man? I see you got that fresh Falcons hat on, man. You look like you're about to get into some mischief, man. What you got going, man? How you feeling?
Hold up. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. Since you say mischief, I know I'm a guest in your house, but you know what?
Hey, man, it's one of them
I gotta
days,
bring
man.
a piece of the bird. I gotta bring a piece of the Birdcage up in here. I gotta turn to the bad guy today. Literally, I'm turning into the bad guy in your house.
How can you be the bad guy when you telling the truth?
Hey, I always have been seen as the bad guy because I didn't want Raheem here. I said it. I said I wanted Lovie Smith, but I got laughed at when I said that. But now people are pissed off because you're seeing the incompetence when it comes to leadership. But it is not just Raheem. It's pretty much the regime. But before I cook with you boys, thank y'all for having me on today. I appreciate you giving me a quick second to just divulge into the show and the great soliloquies that I've been enjoying in the back. I've definitely been enjoying everything y'all been saying. Smitty, I brought a box of fried chicken for you. Just because Chris, and we got some sides for you too.
I bet you ain't got no bottle of hot sauce, dude.
Who don't?
I was about to say the bottle of hot sauce got to be, man.
Who don't? Which one do you want? Do you want the ghost pepper sauce? Do you want the regular hot sauce?
I want the tiger pepper sauce. I want tiger pepper sauce.
Okay. Oh, in other words, your stomach getting ready to be yelling out fire in the hole when you jump on that.
Yeah, I got fire coming through my nostrils.
Oh, see there.
Man.
Hey, you know you talking about chicken. You already know what time it is. You done started something.
Now, see, as soon as you started messing whatever, my damn StreamYard just done froze. So now I got to go black. See, this is how it hurts.
That hot sauce. That hot sauce.
Yeah, got him froze as the bad guy.
See, that's cold. But you know what? I'm still going to get through it. If y'all want me to pop out and pop back in, I can because I got time.
Hey man, it's up to you, man.
Let me go ahead and pop in because I want folks to see my face and really see how serious I am about what we getting ready to talk about, fellas. Let me pop out and I'm gonna pop right back in.
All right. Yeah, man. Ryan from the Birdcage though, but man, real quick though, bro. I just want to give a quick opinion real quick about Myles Garrett. I know what he's 19 mil for him as far as like with his cap, but bro, I'm telling you, we're gonna have to restructure Kirk Cousins.
That's a deal, though, bro.
Huh?
Think about it. Nick Bosa making $32 million a year.
Of
Arizona before he retired, 35 million a year, 30 million or something like that.
I'm not disagreeing with.
So you get a $10 million discount for an elite pass rusher, and Grady's making what 16 million. So you mean tell me you would rather still keep Grady, who's been injured the last 2 years with a knee injury, and he came back last year, but we saw it. He wasn't the same Grady. And you spending only what $4 million more to have a Myles Garrett, something that you definitely need.
Right. No, I totally agree with you.
A long time ago, if you want to be honest, we should have traded him and got value for him. But a lot of fans
say it with your chest.
I was trying to ease into the conversation because I saw Chris was about to jump on you, so I had to go ahead and lean on back.
No, man, because I mean, my thing is, bro, like this right here, it's the cost though. It's just the cost, you know what I'm saying? But my thing is, you gotta pay the cost if you really want to play. You know what I'm saying? You got to. It's just, is this the cost that you want to give up? Because I'm thinking it's going to be something like this. You're going to give up the 2025 first round pick. Definitely. I'm also thinking, you know what I'm saying, you're going to lose probably your second round too. If you don't lose your second round, you better believe that you're going to lose your first round next year and possibly your fourth round.
Possibly.
It's going to be multiple picks And if you don't do it like that, then maybe you have to start trying to see about players. Will they take players? But what players are you going to give them? Because let's just say Kyle Pitts is not on the table for those who want to trade Kyle Pitts.
Well, Cleveland, they don't need Kyle Pitts. They got David Njoku. Let's get that straight.
So that's so that right there. That's why I say I don't feel like it really makes no sense unless they want to go to 2 tight end. I don't see that how that benefits them, honestly. So it's just like, okay, you got Grady, you got AJ Terrell, you got, some other assets. Would you trade them? I mean, they need a running back, you know what I'm saying? Would you trade them Tyler Algier? These are just questions, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I want to get rid of any of these guys. It's just we're talking about going to get Myles Garrett. There are tough decisions you're going to have to make outside of just restructuring Kirk Cousins' contract to make the trade work.
If you're going to trade anybody, you don't get rid of no damn Tyler Algier. What's wrong with you, man?
I don't want to.
You got to if you get rid of anybody, get rid of the young pup you just drafted as a running back. He has no mileage on him, literally. And he definitely would fit what Kevin Stefanski does in Cleveland. If you look at the type
he ain't got no tape, though, Ryan. He ain't got no tape like Tyler do. And I don't want to trade Tyler, okay? He's talking about Chase McClellan. He's talking about Chase McClellan.
Anybody, Chase McClellan can go. He should have never even been picked. But if it's anybody I ain't trying to get rid of, I ain't trying to get rid of that monster number 25 because he balances out what we do in the running game. He really does. And even before Bijan got here, he was the guy. He was the load. He was carrying that load.
But I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you 100%. But this is the draft. Where if you want to trade Tyler Algier, you get compensation for him that's, in your corner. You got to make that deal because, as we say, it's a business at the end of the day. And in this draft, I can see a guy like Ollie Gordon coming in, a guy like R.J. Haywood coming in to take over that second running back spot. There are power backs in this draft that can come through and do what Tyler Algier does. So,
you do realize that Ollie was had injuries this year and last year, right? Yeah, so you want to bring in a guy that's injury prone off the bat. That's what. I'm asking because you mentioned him, but I'm just looking at the fact that you still, if you're gonna bring in a back that's got that, go get Rocky Sanders out of South Carolina, speed and power.
Right,
came out of Arkansas, left and literally is 230, 240, and got a little bit more speed than Algier. Now we have to concern ourselves with what is his pass blocking like when it comes to this system. Are we going to put him in a position to where he's got to help McGarry? Or here's the big question. We're talking about all these other pieces. When are we going to get somebody that's going to protect your quarterback's blind side?
Right.
That is my question.
Another question.
Yeah. And then you remember me saying
that ties into this Myles Garrett thing because
right. If you remember me saying, I would not be surprised if Falcons took a tackle at number 15, which I wouldn't have a problem with because guess what? McGarry only has one more year on his deal. And really, if they wanted to cut him this offseason, they would not lose much.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like we have so many other holes to fill, and I would love to have Myles Garrett. Okay, I would, but is it going to benefit the organization down the road? We got holes to fill. You go get Myles Garrett right now. I just believe, first of all, the asking price is not going to be as high as it was, around the trade deadline because now he's asked for a request, so it's different. It is a little different.
So do you feel like we can get away with one first round pick and maybe a day 2 pick?
It possibly, but at the same time, they still probably going to want it in 2025, not 2026.
But think about it, he's still in his prime.
Yeah,
his prime is not gone. That's the thing.
He is.
But here's the other question: when you look at some of the players that we have in our prime or whatnot, here's another issue that we need to address. Who's going to be cornerback number 2?
Hello?
What are we going to get for that? Are we going to go through undrafted free agency to bring one in? Or are we going to draft one? That is the other question.
I'm glad you said
and
that.
And the question on top of that, what happens if the Browns want A.J. Terrell in a Myles Garrett trade?
I'm taking it. I'm taking it. That's a no-brainer.
The only reason I say that because then you'll be looking for 2 cornerbacks.
That's easy.
If that happens,
easy. You know why?
Yeah.
You know what I'm getting ready to say, right, Smith?
I already know.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're about to say.
You're going to say too.
Give me my boy Kendall Bowler out of FAMU that showed out at the Senior Bowl, please. Kendall Bowler is another Brent Grimes type of DB, 5'11", around 185, 190, plays down in the box, played a little safety too, and he also plays nickel, and he's a guy that definitely can shut it down. It's a reason he went to FAMU. The grades hurt him. Could have went anywhere else, but grades hurt him. That was something that everybody keeps looking at. So I'm looking at the fact that, okay, if they want to take AJ off our hands, guess what? There's a couple of good corners in this draft. You see Philly is going to the Super Bowl with 2 rookie corners. Think about that. Darius Slay wasn't getting burned like he was last year. Darius is coming in as a slot and getting playing time like that. But Cooper DeJean and Krishan Mitchell they starting. They starting.
And both of those, DeShaun, he was picked to be a first-round pick, but he fell back. But he fell back to the second round because of injuries. So
I got laughed at when I said we need to pick Cooper DeJean and we had a chance to take him. I got laughed at.
Bro, I said we should have took
and I'm just chuckling because you can go back and see when I started doing reviews for players or whatnot. A lot of the guys that I look at are high mid-round grade guys that could possibly be high second-round guys. I'm not saying first because guess what? The Falcons never hit on the first round. So the way that you look at it and the way that you try to orchestrate your draft, always orchestrate your draft and your mock drafts and everything else to pick mid-round players because this is what the Falcons do. This is what we've been doing since my grandfather was a young buck and the Falcons was in the city since 66. That's how long they've been doing it.
Right.
And I'm going to tell y'all a quick trade that I've been hearing a lot. And it's also, concerned to Browns. And that's Kirk Cousins being traded to Cleveland with a draft pick for Denzel Ward. Now, that is another move that I would like, but at the same time, Denzel Ward has been a little injury prone himself the last couple of years. But when healthy, he's probably a top 5 corner in the league. So that is another way that they could, go off and get a cornerback. But that's only if Myles Garrett ends up in Detroit or San Francisco.
Yeah, if it's me, if you want to go after a free agent, if there was one to go all in about, it would be Myles Garrett. Again, you just got to see what you're going to do with everyone else, like with Grady, with, the restructures, because you're going to have to still make other moves outside of Myles Garrett. It's still going to be costly because you're trading Kirk Cousins. You got, it's a dead cap hit for that, so
Denzel Ward's cap hit this year is $24 million. He has 2 years left after that, 30 million in 2026, 27 million in 2027. So he's a pretty pricey cornerback.
I'd rather deal with Myles Garrett. And that's another thing too. You trade for Myles Garrett, you're going to have to extend him.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying.
He might play that first year under 19 million, under 20 million. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was getting ready to say. So it's a cat in the chat named Robert Blackman. I love watching them comment. But yeah, I agree with you on that. The Eagles have a pass rush, but guess what? That same pass rush that the Eagles have, the Falcons could have had.
Pass
rush. Oh yeah.
Let's talk about it. If we're gonna put that out there, let's go ahead and put it out there. Your general manager, our general manager, passed Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, passed on all these guys that was up the road and
Michael
had
Parsons.
an opportunity to draft these guys. Yep. Think about it. Nolan Smith could have been wearing this jersey. Think about it. All these guys we're naming made an impact on that defense. Right off the bat, they going to the Super Bowl. Think about it. Fletcher Cox retires. Jalen Carter was already his replacement last year. We all saw that. He was getting burned. So again, when you look at it, the front office deficiencies when it comes to drafting, when you got a chance to draft all that talent in your backyard, guess what? Philly went all in, and we look foolish. We literally are less than an hour away from damn Athens. You're talking about, even if we didn't do it in 2021, you should have did it in 2022 to at least bring the last remnants of that team over.
And Jalen Carter was the perfect pick because that's exactly what we needed at nose tackle position.
Carter would have taken a lot of pressure off for Grady coming back off this knee injury. David Onyemata might be a little bit better with one-on-ones. Then Arnold Ebiketie might have been able to get off a little bit more, and Judon would have probably had a better year. So again, you look at it, we take Trey Anderson over a proven middle linebacker. Yeah, he tore his patella tendon, and I hated that for Nakobe Dean. But let's be real, Nakobe Dean came in and worked his way from special teams to being the starting middle linebacker, and literally was one of their leading tacklers on that team. And everyone's like, "Oh, he's too small, his shoulder." You can't measure IQ. You can't measure this. This man was a damn engineer. An engineer. Him and Nolan Smith, if you really want to be honest.
But they had a chance to get another linebacker last year. Adrian Cooper was still on the board. Adrian Cooper from Texas A&M was still on the board.
And so, here's another one for you.
Go ahead.
Xavier Sorey, who left Georgia and went to Nebraska. And the kid was one of the best linebackers in the Big Ten. If you pass on that, since you don't like drafting Georgia guys, guess what? He's got a Nebraska uniform on. You bring a middle linebacker here, a true middle linebacker that is smart, that can play the pass, and also can get off these 300-pounders and make plays in the gaps. I apologize, y'all.
But another position that we're not talking about that just became a problem, the center position. Now you're gonna Michael Penix is gonna have to adjust to another center. This is why Ryan Nuzeel have to be resigned. He's not going to cost much, so you got to bring him back in some kind of capacity, because that is who Michael Penix is used to. If you start over with a rookie guy at center, I think you send Michael Penix back just a little bit.
What about? Here's the question. What about? The question is this. What about Jared Wilson? Another dog, center, right up the street. Man, after Cedric Von Granger was drafted, this man hadn't missed no games. This man has been a pitcher of consistency.
They have him at third. They have projected third to fourth round.
That's fine. I'm okay with getting him at the third or fourth round.
That's right around in our wheelhouse. That's right around in our wheelhouse, though.
And then if you don't draft him, here's my thing.
Have a third round.
Here's another guy. If you don't draft him, you can get the center that's out of North Carolina, a bit undersized, but you cannot dispute that kid has great technique and is strong as hell, and definitely does not put the ball on the turf. Might be a little smaller compared to.
He just like Bradbury from Minnesota.
I'm gonna give you another center that he reminds me of, Jeff Van Note.
Yep, former linebacker in college.
And I'm gonna give y'all a linebacker that I've been watching all season long, and I would love to be in a Falcons uniform. And me and Tariq is on the same page. Zach Bond, somebody that worked his way from special teams and worked his way into this linebacker core. And hey, he had a great season for the Eagles, man.
But the thing about when he was in New Orleans, they didn't know how to use him. I saw him in New Orleans.
I feel like he
was always there.
I feel like he's going to have another similar thing to like what Trey Hendrickson had. And left and became great. Hey, Zach Bond is doing the same thing, and hey, if the Eagles don't want to sign.
Man, I hate I had to delete my videos, man, but I did a profile on Zach Bond, and I knew that he had the talent to be an NFL linebacker. Now, one guy that I know the Falcons passed, where that they should look at, that will probably be there on day 3. I watched this kid all season practice because I watched a lot of Penn State games. Guy named Kobe King, downhill thumper. You talk about run stopping. This is what the Falcons had problems with. We talk about a guy who can shed tackles, shoot the gaps. He's just an all-out baller. Now, he's going to fall to day 3 mainly because he's a little bit undersized. He's not that fast. But when it comes to technique, being able to tackle, he's one of the top ones in the draft. So just keep an eye out for that name on day 3.
He said Kobe King. Ooh.
Kobe King.
I mean, I rocks with him. I mean, I think he's definitely a good linebacker. But here's another guy that you might want to look at too. There's a guy by the name of Justin Barron out of Syracuse. All need a little bit more weight on him. But when you talk about being able to get from tackle to tackle, comes downhill, plays with an attitude. I mean, let's be real. Fulton Kuykendall wasn't the biggest linebacker that we ever had. Neither was Jesse Tupper.
He's about
Jesse Tupper was tiny. And I mean, when you look at the impact that the Hammer had, You look at the fact that you look at all these two linebackers that I just named. Hell, you can even look at Sam Mills, short and nothing but a block, and was a problem for the Falcons.
I can go that
years.
same route. I can go that same route with London Fletcher.
Yep. London Fletcher has the same amount of tackles and numbers that Ray Lewis has. That should tell you something.
Facts.
And he was a
5'9".
He's my height. Yeah, he's my size.
Yep.
And he just is. Look, you can't measure a guy's will to play the game. You can't. The size, how much weight he benches, it's all beautiful. It's all great because it helps him become a better player. We get it. But here's the thing I need, Falcon family, I need y'all to understand. If you played the game, you understand what I'm getting ready to say. You can't measure a guy's will to play this game. And I'm not talking about heart. I'm not talking about drive. Will. There's a difference between having heart, a difference between having drive. Drive is what gets you to work hard. Heart is what gets you through when you're getting beat down. Your will is something that you take with you that nobody can break you.
Yeah, that will mean that motor don't never stop. That motor just keeps going and going.
And the thing is, we have a lack of guys that have will issues on this team. We have a lack of guys that have will issues on this team who don't believe. You know, greatest example, and I'm sorry if I'm rambling, fellas. I'm just pissed at the Falcons from Kirk to front office and just the makeup of this team. Muhammad Ali said it the best. He talked about when he fought George Foreman. Everybody thought he was indestructible, which he was. Beat down everybody. Ali said, hell, told his camp because they was all scared from, don't be scared. Hell, don't look scared. Go into the ring, smile. I got to fight him. What you mean? And they all told a story in his book, and they all said, yeah, he told us that because we were afraid for his life. Guess what? His will is what got him through that fight. Think about it. He said, if he don't get me in 7, his parachute will never open, which happened. If you get a guy in here with a mind, all it needs is one person that's got the faith of a mustard seed when nobody else believes in this team. Bring somebody on this defense that's got a mindset, that's got a chip on their shoulder, that has the will, not heart, not determination. I need somebody with will, which means they never give up on the play, no matter what it's like. They're gonna play whether it's 44-0 in their favor or 0-44 in ours.
Hey, they passed on that too with TJ Watt.
Man, that right there, they just that right there just.
I had to go to black right there because look, I'm trying not to cry on camera. I'm just right now. I'm trying not to cry.
What Scarface said? Never seen a man cry till I seen a man die.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. I want to see captain wise. I don't want skill players as my captain. I know I'm old school with this. Here's my thing. You know who I feel like needs to be a captain on this team? A permanent captain? No skill players. I want boys in the trenches. That is who I want my captains to be. But the top dog, he got to come from the O-line. Because guess what? He's banging it out with everybody, every play. That is who I want to be responsible.
Well, yeah, Chris Lister there already. He's the best lineman we have.
Jake Matthews.
Jake is a senior. I'm okay with I'm okay with Chris. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I want to see Nate Bergeron challenge for that top dog spot. That's what I want to see.
Oh, he coming. He's
on the way.
I
definitely he's on the way.
And the reason I say that, offensive linemen beat on people every play, and they have to come back. They're not like the skill players where you get hurt. You got to say these dudes playing with broken fingers, jam necks, backs, and you guys talk to Mud Duck, so y'all already know some of the strengths and weaknesses that come through that.
Yeah, that is not play with a broken leg.
Right.
Toughest guys on the team. It's always the boys in the trenches. And I'm a former safety. And I always say, my leader on that team, it ain't my damn linebacker. It's my hogs up front. I used to hang with the O linemen and the D linemen. I never hung with DBs, even though those are my brothers, but I never hung with my own kind. I always hung with those cats because they got to be highly intelligent and they got to be ready to jump off at the drop of a dime. They different. They're wired different.
Right.
And I know you saying that they got to be the drive, but Falcons got to get linebackers, man.
Yeah.
We don't have, like you said, we don't have no will at that position.
But how can you have will at that position when you have nobody that's gonna keep him clean up front? You gotta have somebody that's gonna keep your linebackers clean.
Yeah. That's why we got like guys we was talking about in the draft. Like my guy from Kentucky, somebody that can get placed right there in the middle. Space eater, man. We definitely need them space eaters. It's Eddie Goldman is not it. Ruka Roro. I mean,
and look, I'll give Eddie his credit. Eddie played better than he did last year. But
he didn't play last year. So yeah, you're right.
But I'm saying I should have said the last time he played, he seemed like the old Eddie Goldman. He was starting to penetrate the whole pause, and he was starting to eat up blocks. But if you just look at, big interior linemen, it's just something that we've never had. Because if you go back to the Dan Quinn era, what was his motto? Fast and physical. He didn't say nothing about eating up space, being a big guy to eat. Now, one guy, and they cut him, Anthony Rush. Anthony Rush was out there working his ass off. But I don't know what happened with the team. He ends up getting cut, and the defensive line goes to shit the rest of the season.
But the problem is your coaches. That's your problem.
It goes all the way back to what I said, Ryan. Foundation and plug and play. If you don't have the right foundation to plug these players in to a system, and what the Steelers known for, what the Ravens known for.
Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. This is the one thing, because we weren't alive when the Steelers were a doormat. We weren't alive during those years. That was before us. People don't understand that they changed the way that they did things drafting Mean Joe Green. That was the cornerstone of the reason that franchise changed. That was the cornerstone. But you go back and you look at some of the players that played before Joe Green, from John Henry Johnson, God rest his soul, one of the best running back / linebackers that played at that time. And then when you look at from Joe Green going down to Mel Blount, going down to Jack Ham, when they started drafting these guys, they had what they call a great scout by the name of Bill Nunn. Was one of the greatest scouts next to Lloyd Wells of all time. Those are two of them. And now if Howie Roseman wins the Super Bowl again, Howie's going to be in that situation now. But when we talk about it, Bill Nunn changed that attitude of that franchise, period. And if you want to talk about it, Pittsburgh was always a defensive town. They might have lost games before Chuck Noll got there, but they were going to beat your ass. You can go back and look at Bill, God rest his soul, Bill Saul, one of the nastiest linebackers to play the game that no one talks about. And when you look at that transition to Andy Russell, Jack Ham, Jack Lambert, and all those guys in those championships, and even in the 80s when you was a jitterbug, Smitty, and you had hair at the time, you go back and you look at the Steelers were competitive. They were still going to the playoffs. They just wasn't winning any championships anymore. So I'm looking at it like this. You're going to have what we call a true culture change and a facelift for this culture, for this franchise. It's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to start doing better with scouting talent and getting guys that's got will and guys that are ready to play.
Facts.
So I'm not going to stay. I'm getting ready to bounce. Like I was saying, I'm going to hold up to my promise. I just appreciate y'all letting me come through. And it's another name I want y'all to look out for, fellas. Defensive lineman by the name of Yaha Black out of Iowa. 6'5", 317 pounds. Yaha Black is one of the nastiest defensive linemen in the game. And he doesn't get talked
about. Before you get out of here, there's a safety that I've been watching probably since, I would say, mid-October. It's Kenny Gallup from Howard.
Yeah, I already know about him. I talk about him all the time. One of the top safeties in the country. Plays just like Marquise Bell.
Hey, that kid there, oof, Lord. Somebody gonna get a steal with him.
Remember, I think I told you about Kenny Gallup.
You probably did, but I started watching him in October.
I stay up on my HBCU boys.
Oh
no, Robert. No, they did not. They did not hire anybody new for the scouting.
No, they still got the same. They've had the same guys the last 15 years.
I just want to let you know that.
And here's a guy that you might want to look at, and I'll give you this. You also have a linebacker out of South Carolina State that you might want to look at. And when you talk about HBCU players at the time, his name is Antwon Smith. He's 6'2", 220 pounds.
So I'm in the Celebration Bowl.
And I'm going to give you this. He was a Buddy Pugh product before Coach Pugh retired. Remember this, Buddy Pugh has put over 200 players in the NFL out of South Carolina.
Right.
And if you ever look at the pedigree of South Carolina players, Deacon Jones was there, but he transferred to Mississippi Valley State for his last year. But you go from Deacon Jones, Donnie Shell, Harry Carson, and then you got Robert Porcher, who played for the Lions for some years.
Yeah,
and then you got, it's so many guys we can just name. Charlie Brown. It's so many guys you can name that have come up out of that school. South Carolina State is a breeding ground for NFL talent.
And Tennessee State used to beat you. Jackson State.
Tennessee State is. Because remember, Rogers Camardi came up out of there. That was the last.
That's what my cousin went to school, Tennessee State. He played 9 seasons in the NFL. So yeah, HBCU still got talent. They just need to be showcased like the rest of these jokers.
Hey, we got a running back replacement, and I'm sliding. It's a kid by the name of Jamari Taylor out of North Carolina, A&T. I'm sorry, North Carolina Central. I'm saying A&T. I'm thinking about the kid that looked like Todd Gurley at North Carolina A&T. But Jamari's out of North Carolina Central. And when you talk about a guy that comes downhill, has a great burst, good vision, just got a few things he's got to tweak, but he's a problem. He is a true problem. So if you decide to get rid of Tyler Algier, bring him in. You can get him as an undrafted free agent. But my bets, if I bring an HBCU player in, I got to get my boy Carson Vincent, but I don't even think we'll even have a stab at him. So I appreciate y'all for having me on, fellas. I'm definitely looking forward to probably working with y'all this week if we can, because we definitely got to pick up the conversation about Kirk Cousins, because we gonna have part 2 of that. I just did a little something earlier today.
Me too.
But I'd love for y'all to chime in with us.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. This is going to be, again, like I said earlier, this is going to be topic of conversation all the way to the Super Bowl. So we're going to be talking about it, and it's going to get brought up. This is going to be a ongoing thing as long as Kirk is a Falcon and until he's not.
Facts.
Point blank. That's the roller coaster. Buckle in, Falcon fans. I'm talking about pull it way back, get all the way, pull it tight. Because we got another roller coaster of unnecessary BS that we have to go through. Hey, but one thing about it, we're gonna all be going through it together. I'll be here, Smitty will be here, Ryan will be here, and other Falcon content creators will definitely be here. Hey guys, it's what they say. How that old song say? And the beat goes on, and when it rains, and when
just
it rains,
well, you about to get me started. I'm about to start playing. Look, I got to get up out of here. Fooling with y'all boys. I'll be on here for another hour, man. Hey, check us out at the Birdcage LLC Thursday night, 8 p.m. You either get right or you get left. And I'm going to tell you right now, y'all going to get left if y'all don't hit that damn like button for these brothers here and y'all don't subscribe to their channel. It is free $99. All y'all complain about having a discount, damn it, is free. Hit that like and subscribe button for my boy.
It's all Chris.
Come out, baby. Let's go.
It's all Chris.
Hey, man. Right, man. That's what I'm saying, man. But definitely subscribe to Smitty Sports Machine, as he's like close to 100,000 or something like that.
Man, go ahead on, man.
My bad. And so make sure so you come on over and subscribe to A1 Forever Sports as well. And don't forget also, I'm also on the Hawks Digest now. Just type in Hawks Digest. It'll take you right to the page, man, where we cover everything Atlanta Hawks. Rumors, all that kind of mess like that. We got some more videos coming out because there's some more trade rumors coming out about the Atlanta Hawks, and we got to talk about it. So, like I said, Hawks Digest, so you
I might show up for that too with my Pistol Pete Maravich jersey.
it's just so much going on. As the trade deadline is right around the corner. And hey, so the Hawks got some moves or possible moves they can possibly make. They got some decisions to make. Clint Capella and Bogey Bogdanovich hasn't played in almost 2 weeks. It's already
There's a
been
lot of
2 weeks.
rumors floating around.
A
Y'all
lot of
go to
room.
Smitty Sports Machine. I dropped one earlier today.
Yeah,
So
man.
y'all go check that out. And Chris got a good one he working on. We were
Yeah,
talking
so,
about it a little bit earlier. So y'all go to
yeah.
Hawks Digest, man, because he putting in that work, man. He putting in that work.
Oh yeah.
Appreciate you, Ryan.
Oh yeah. Appreciate you for coming through, Ryan, man, for sure. Again, man, hey, it's a lot of decisions, man, we got to make though, bro. And we're coming to the end of this show, but guys, this Kirk Cousins thing again. This right here is the type of stuff that organizations don't want to see, and I really hate that we're going through it right now. Honestly,
And
it's
this possibly could have set us back a year or two, because like I said,
agree.
that $180 million could have went a long way had they
Right.
used it right.
And my thing is too, bro. Even restructuring to trade him is still going to set us back because that trade, so that 30 mil that you would convert,
You kicking
it's
the can
still
down the road.
until 26 and 27.
Yeah, you're
And
kicking the can down the road.
right, man. You don't want to mess around and be like those stanky boys down there in New Orleans and how they cap situation looking like. Don't mess around and be out here looking like the New Orleans ain't.
$62 million.
Come on, bro. Like, let's not. Come on now. And my thing is, you got yourself out of cap hell with the Matt Ryan, Julio Jones situation. Remember, bro,
And
it was
Deion Jones.
and Deion Jones. Remember, those three guys was taking up more than 50% of our
40%
roster.
of the cap space.
Before it was, yeah, come on now. So that's what I'm saying. You got out of that, and now you're back in a similar situation. Let's see how we navigate, Falcon fans. Stay tuned. And again, like I said, strap in and pull it tight because we don't know which way this thing is going to go. I still believe and I still will stand on the mountain that we deserve a press conference just to clear the air, figure out what's going on, and it's got to be truthful. It's got to be, because right now everyone is side-eyeing the organization as being an organization that will not tell the truth, that will withhold information. And I'm not saying other organizations don't do that, but are they in the media
I can't
right
believe
now?
he threw the Falcons under the bus twice.
Right. Are they in the media right now? No, we are. Twice in the same type of setting. First at a press conference, now at an interview. So regardless, y'all, we going through it. This guy has came in and brought us more trouble than anything. I understand the 6-3. Yes, we was all swag surfing. Yes, we was taking over trap, walking trap, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? RIP the bankroll fresh. But we was doing all that stuff. Yes. But at the end of the day, this man has came in and caused us more trouble than he did, you know what I'm saying, as far as like taking us anywhere that we wanted to go.
Right.
Cost us draft picks. You know what I'm saying? Just cost us a draft pick. Just that alone is already, you know what I'm saying, an offense that should want you up out of here. Then, you know what I'm saying, going through the whole thing about not being benched, whether he didn't want to be benched to save his career, or whether he didn't get benched because the coaching staff wanted to give him an opportunity because of the money and because of the prestige of who he once was. Regardless, it's all wrong. And regardless, now you in this BS situation, and us Falcon fans have to sit through it because, we ain't going nowhere, but we got to sit through this BS, you know what I'm saying, once again, through incompetence, through scandals, through circuses, and we're trying to get players to come down here who want to be around this circus. I'm just being real, y'all.
Not too many people.
I'm just being real. And we don't know what the consequences will be. We didn't know that, there were going to be consequences for the whole thing with the tampering. We were hoping that it wasn't. Like, for so long, it just seemed like it took forever to come out. And then it finally did, that we lost a draft pick. And we was like, okay, it's not going to be too bad if it all works. Remember, Smitty, we talked about this. It's not going to be too bad that we lost this draft pick as long as everything works out, as long as the plan works out, that Terry and
but it still cost us because we only have 5 draft picks.
My thing is, the plan didn't even work. Kirk Cousins' arm went dead. Kirk Cousins was injured, so he says. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, regardless, it still didn't work.
Man, his arm went super limp. He
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like
swallowed the Viagra to put his arm back on hard.
The elbow and shoulder injury was already documented, you know what I'm saying, for the Broncos game. Then he came off of it. So my
That's the
thing,
crazy thing,
it's so much equal blame to go around.
man. Just like I said, and I told y'all that New Orleans game was the turning point. I knew it.
Yeah, more than what we thought, bro. More than what we thought. My goodness, like it was the
It got
complete
it
turnaround.
worse. It got
It was,
worse.
things definitely got worse. We went on a 4-game losing streak, and so we're calling for the quarterback, we're calling for the coach. Everyone saying is everything's fine. It was just like that meme. Oh, this is fine with all the fire around.
Yeah, the dog in the fire, right?
That's all it was, bro. That's all it was. So and we had so many opportunities to win the division. This like the NFL tried their best to give the Falcons a division. Man, when Kirk got hurt in the Saints game, we still had a sizable lead. Then next thing you know, you make the change after we lost the lead. That it's just backwards to me. I understand going down to the wire, but my gosh, like you lose the lead before you make a change, that just don't make no sense whatsoever. But shoot, man, we can talk about this thing for the next 3 hours though, Smitty, man. I'm gonna try to come up with
we all supposed to go 35, 40 minutes. We don't want an hour and a half. So hey,
already. So guys, man, thank
happens.
you, Smitty, for for popping up.
But
on
guess
here.
what? Guess what? You get watch time hours for it. So I mean, it didn't go to waste.
Nah, hey man, I appreciate everybody for pulling up, man. This is definitely a conversation again that we had to have, and it's going to continue, man. Definitely going to.
Oh, trust me, we got a million more conversations we got to discuss for the all season really get kicked off next month.
For sure.
Because next month, Lord Jesus, Twitter gonna be on fire. Trust me.
It is. Smitty, man, let the people know they can find you, man.
Hey man, y'all know where to find me, man. Smitty Sports Machine on YouTube. Find me on the NFC South Roundtable every Tuesday night at 7:00. We are on our all-season schedule, so we gonna, do videos as we go. We doing pre-recorded videos right now, but we'll do some more live shows soon. But trust me, NFC South Roundtable, my boy TJ, my boy Clay, my boy Mr. Butters Nation, James. We always cooking up some, man, because the NFC South, man, we gonna make one of the better divisions on that platform because we put in our all and we are a close-knit community, man. So y'all tune into the NFC South Roundtable Tuesdays, or y'all go to the NFC South Roundtable on YouTube and check out the video that we've already put out. Great content, great debates, and always mutual respect. And shout out to y'all out there that follow me on the NFC South Roundtable, man. I have Falcon fans repping and supporting the team. So thank y'all, man, for coming through. And take us on out, Chris.
Hey, man, A1 Forever Sports, that is the show. That is the platform. That is the brand on YouTube, so that I'm always pushing, and thank you all for coming over, having this conversation. Everybody in the chat, man, definitely salute everyone that's watching and that will watch this video. Definitely salute to you. Definitely happy to have you all. You make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me also on Twitter and on Instagram at A1 Forever. Also follow me at the Hawks Digest as well. New platform that me and Walter Pollard, we're over there growing that channel, saying all Atlanta Hawks news all the time. So, come on over to the Hawks Digest. Other things working in the background as well. Always working, man. Saying, hey, we're just some workaholics over here, man. That's all it is. But thank you guys for tuning in.
Hey, before we get out of here, man, we can't let the show go up. We got to give a shout out to our boy, 95 North Berto, man. Y'all go check him out on the 95 North Falcons Talk Show, man. He's over 4,000 subs now, man. So y'all keep pushing that channel, man. Keep pushing him up. All three of us are growing individually, man, and we bring it all together as one. That's why we collab as well as we do. We talk daily
too. Don't forget Bleacher Report.
Bleacher Report Tuesdays. Wednesdays.
Yeah, show on Bleacher Report. Check Berto out on Bleacher Report, man, every Wednesday, man, talking Falcons football.
Is it at 6:00 or 7:00?
I believe it's at 6:00. But just to be sure, check at 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. for Berto.
Right.
Right. Just in case, what I'm saying. But yeah, man, definitely doing his thing. Salute to Berto, man, over there doing big things for Bleacher Report. Pretty sure, so he's gonna be doing bigger things by mid-season, by the end of the season, because his role is growing over there. And salute to our brother, Mr. 95 North.
Berto, that's what they call him.
Right. But yeah, man. So again, we're all working, we're all moving. Thank you again, man. We do this for y'all. We'll be nothing without you guys, and we sincerely mean that. We're not pulling your chain, so thank you guys for showing up every time. Thank you guys for when you get the notification, you click on it, and you know what I'm saying, to check us out.
Hey, Raymond Cousins, go check the replay, man. Trust me, you're gonna enjoy it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Go on the way back to the beginning, man, and just let it ride. Trust me.
You too, Zay. Y'all check Zay in the Bag out on YouTube as well.
Oh,
Zay
yeah.
doing his thing on YouTube, man. Check out Zay, man. Zay a big supporter, man. He be over down the NFC South Roundtable too, man. So check out,
man.
check out these. Check out the YouTube Atlanta Falcon family, man. It's much bigger than it is when I first started. Trust me. And these guys putting out great content as well and giving their all, just like I do, man. So y'all please go support them.
Right, man. But yeah, man, y'all check it out from the beginning, man. We talked about a lot. We gave our feelings, you know what I'm saying, as respectfully as we possibly could. Not, crashing out, but definitely this is some BS, man, we're going through as Falcon fans. Again, thank you guys all. We're gonna be continuing to talk about this, man. We done for right now. We're gonna chill for now, but we definitely all gonna be back talking about this mess. You better believe.
Yeah, we'll be back to bullshitting real soon.
I'm trying to tell you. So for Smitty Sports Machine, A1 Forever Sports, shout out to Mr. 95 North Berto. Check him out as well. Until next time, y'all, peace and blessings. We'll holler.
A1. Yeah, truly. Cooler and I'm flyer too. Jam.